You brought me back.
You found your own way back. All you needed was a little help.
In Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the struggle of coming to terms with past trauma and guilt comes out in a number of surprising ways. Developer Ninja Theory channels its talents for narrative and presentation to tell a personal story that has more to say than it initially lets on, and will likely leave you wondering what's real and what is a part of an elaborate hallucination. In a far-off land covered in mist and fog, a traumatized Celtic warrior named Senua embarks on a spiritual vision quest to suppress her inner demons. Plagued with severe psychosis, Senua's past trauma manifests itself through audio and visual hallucinations that often compromise her well-being.
It's me, Senua. It's so loud.
It's not her.
So full of hate.
It's a trap.
While the main character experiences many dangers, such as horrific hallucinations of the dead and immolation from a mad fire god, one larger threat looms over her constantly. Early on, Senua is infected with a corruption, which spreads after she experiences a death. Though passing off each failure as another hallucination, the infection will spread further. Die enough times, and Senua will succumb to it, wiping all of your progress. Despite the permadeath mechanic, Hellblade is still a largely fair game, taking around 8 hours to clear on the hardest difficulty and experiencing only a handful of deaths, mostly on account of some vague and awkward objectives coming off as obtuse. The game is largely balanced with its pacing and difficulty, even going as far as to offer a helpful auto-scaling difficulty system. Hellblade is an introspective experience, albeit with several combat and interactive story beats throughout. Ninja Theory cleverly blends live-action cutscenes with the in-game graphics, giving each occurrence a somewhat surreal feeling, as if you're watching a live playback of an altered memory. Pulling from Celtic and Nordic lore, the fiction of Hellblade evokes a dire and bleak atmosphere, giving the impression that the world had already ended, leaving Senua with only the company of her memories. The story takes a sympathetic approach to portraying mental illness, and isn't at all interested in showing the differences between reality and imagination. It's all about Senua's perspective, and with her visions and what's truly real being presented as one and the same. On her journey through the Cursed Lands, Senua will utilize her skills in combat to fight an army of berserkers that appear out of thin air. With fast, heavy sword swings, as well as up-close hand-to-hand strikes, you'll hack away at your foes while dodging and parrying their strikes to get the upper hand. These combat sequences are intense and offer the most thrilling moments of the game. Combat's true challenge and satisfaction come from mastering the base combat mechanics, which is fluid and responsive, allowing you to bounce between multiple foes easily, with their inner voices warning you of incoming strikes. The intrusive inner voices are easily the most oppressive aspect of Senua's psychosis. Using binaural audio, making headphones a must for the full effect, you'll experience what it's like to have several voices in your head.
There's a way in.
Into the mountain.
Can you see it?
Shall we tell her where to go?
It's not far. Go on, look. Up. Just up there. Listen to us. That's it.
In many ways, it feels like a subversive take on the common video game trope of the bodiless companion offering help via radio, making them a somewhat distressing presence you desperately want to keep at arm's length. The effectiveness of their inner voices in making you uncomfortable is a testament to the stellar presentation of the game, which uses some rather inventive tricks to manipulate Senua's perspective, and in turn your own. It does well to make you feel on edge and in a state of confusion, while simultaneously getting you to focus on the more tangible and true elements of her surroundings, even if they are still hallucinations. The voices, however, can be a boon to your survival, such as some rather tricky boss battles that force you to switch up strategies. But the instances where they're most useful are deeper in the game, when you're able to clear through more than a dozen enemies consecutively, a far cry from the struggles of only fighting 2 or 3 foes. Many of these battles serve as the capper for narrative arcs in the story, feeling like a cathartic emotional purge where you vanquish a construct of Senua's psyche. While some characters from Senua's past treated her mental state as a danger, to her, it offers the ability to witness the harmony and the chaos of her surroundings, finding patterns and solutions that others wouldn't have the presence of mind to see. Senua is able to navigate the various trials thanks to her unusually heightened perception, which comes out in a number of unique puzzle-solving moments. These puzzles mostly revolve around unlocking doors by finding glyphs hidden in plain sight, by using Senua's focus, which illustrates her abstract attention to detail. While these puzzles can be clever, the same style occurs far too often, making some of the more drawn-out sequences a chore. But in one of the game's best moments, the shadows themselves hide dangers as Senua rushes from one light source to another in a dark cavern. All the while, memories of her torment and anguish come flooding in, obscuring your vision in the dash to safety. These moments are a real highlight, making a seemingly simple objective into an unnerving experience, which in a way, truly sums up what Hellblade is about. While these moments serve to be some of Hellblade's most profound and affecting moments, it uses them sparingly to help break up general puzzles and obstacles, which feel somewhat bland by comparison. Despite the complexity of the narrative and its presentation, combat only happens when it needs to, and puzzle solving and set-piece moments push the story forward to reveal more about Senua's motivations, which in turn reveals the struggles that torment her, preventing her from moving on. Hellblade's most notable achievement is the handling of an incredibly sensitive subject matter within an engaging and well-crafted action-adventure game. At its heart, the story is about Senua's struggle to come to terms with her illness. In the process, she learns to find the strength within herself to endure and to make peace with her past. And in a profound and physical way, we go through those same struggles with her and come away with a better understanding of a piece of something that many people in the world struggle with.